Hello, my name is Tyler Lypkie. I'm a lawyer practicing in Edmonton, Alberta. Our firm is called Lypkie Henderson, and one of the areas of our practice focuses in the area of employment law. I'm very proud of the fact that over the last several years, we've literally helped hundreds of Albertans through a wide variety of employment law situations. Today, though, I want to focus on a particular issue of concern to many employees, and that's overtime. Now, there's a lot of detailed regulations and legislation governing, when you get overtime, how many hours you need to work. I'm not going to talk about that because that's very detailed and depends very much on each individual circumstance, whether you're a management worker, whether you're a professional, whether you're in a union, for example. But there's two main points really that you need to know. And the first is that actually the Alberta government, through what's called employment standards or Service Alberta, will actually on your behalf ensure that your employer is paying you overtime. So if you have a problem with overtime, you feel you're not getting what you're entitled to, you should actually just look on the internet, find Service Alberta or Alberta Employment Standards, and call their hotline and talk to what they call an employment standards officer. And that individual may, in the proper circumstance, actually contact your employer and force them to pay you overtime. And frankly, you don't need to hire a lawyer, so you can save a lot of time and a lot of money in that particular situation to get the overtime that you deserve. However, there's one caveat, and that's that employment standards can only go back from a 6-month period. So if you make your complaint, say in June, they can only go back to roughly December of the last year. Now, for most people, that's going to be fine. But there's a number of circumstances where we find overtime hasn't been paid for several years. And in that case, that's where we come in, and that's where a lawyer can really help you to get more out of your employer. And we can go back, generally we're subject to a 2-year limitation period, but in some cases we can go back even further in terms of recovering the overtime that's been unpaid. So those are the two main options. Number one, call the government, probably call them first, frankly, to see if they can assist you in your situation. But if you find, that overtime is outstanding for more than 6 months, give us a call. We'd be more than happy to sit down with you and review your situation. But you want to remember as well that overtime is very technical. Like I was saying, if you're a management employee or if you're a certain type of professional, you may not even be entitled to overtime. Or similarly, if you're a certain type of oil field worker, you may have a different overtime formula, which is different than, say, your friends who are working in a different industry that's not in the oil field or oil field services sector. So there's a lot of technical issues to keep in mind. But definitely, if you have any concerns or any questions regarding overtime, start with employment standards. And if that doesn't work out for you, then give us a call. We'll be more than happy to sit down with you to discuss the situation in more detail. Yeah, got wordy in the end there, I think.